feel bad for Hero. Like Hero keeps trying.
All right, we are live.
Nope.
All right.
Hero.
What's up, everybody?
What is?
I like that Humble Marty's redesigning Birds of Prey outfit.
No,
Uh
buddy.
oh. Uh oh. Triggered.
Popcorn outfit for fits and giggles. Yep.
Triggered. Uh oh. I'm
Oh
triggered.
no.
I'm triggered. We can't redesign. We cannot read. No, I'm just kidding.
Do the redesign. Do it just because it's triggering Chuck.
Oh no.
I want to drink his male tears. All right. So, give it a little bit of time. We should be joined by Scott Cushman of Wrath.
Woohoo!
Yes. But right now, let us introduce Matt Trin. Those of us, or I should say those of you who are used to watching Meeting of the Minds, you know Matt from the beginning. He was one of the original, I guess you could say, panelists on the show.
Well, one of them.
And back then, you were originally just talking about the McKinnon Chronicles. I think I said that right.
Yep, you did, and I'm still working on it.
Yep. But between then and now, you managed to get issue 1 of Mythics out, funded and all. Which, for those of you who haven't read Mythics, oh man, you will get your chance to be able to read it again here soon. Because is it this month or next month that the Kickstarter will be live?
Well, the issue 1's physicals will be fulfilling at the beginning of March, and sometime after that, probably late March, I'll be launching the Kickstarter for issue 2.
Word. Nice. And I keep forgetting y'all had, or we're still working on getting the physical copies out. Because, you had the digital copies out for so long. Wow. How is that going? Like, has the proofs, have you gotten them, looked at them and everything? Nice.
Yep. We have 2 versions of the proofs. The first version of Mythics issue 1 had a border problem, so we had to resize the pages for the second one. Yeah.
Well, these things do happen. This is your first comic. I would be remiss if I didn't say that sometimes these things are a bit touch and go.
No, yeah. Especially when you're not an industry pro.
Right. But first step to becoming good at anything is to suck a little at something. So, I'm just saying. I think that was a Futurama quote, if I remember correctly. I think Bender said that.
It sounds like something you'd say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that you, Chuck?
Nope.
Oh, so Matt still got a bit of a cough?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'd offer you a Halls, bro, but like I said, I just got over mine. I have a bag of 80 and a jar. I'm just saying, I would be like, here you go, bro. Here you go. I completely understand.
My first live stream for Mythics is 2 Kickstarter, and I feel like crap. It sounds like crap. I don't feel like it, but I sound like it.
Hey, man. These things happen. But, rain or snow, gotta get these comics, promoted, and gotta get people excited about them. So, is there anything new that you want to, let people kind of give them a bit of a hint, or, whatever you can divulge about it right now about 2?
It's gonna be 4 pages longer, and it goes more into about what a familiar does for a mythic, as well as go a little bit further in Althea's backstory. such as establishing one of her greatest fears.
Hmm. So basically, more content, world building, getting. I guess you could say, creating a more immersive world for the fans to get. I guess you could say immersed in.
Yep.
I'll show myself out. Anyway, uh,
It works. It works better if the name of the show was Immersion.
right. And so with that, are you? Is there going to be like a time gap? Because I'm trying not to talk too much about what happened in issue 1 for those who haven't read issue 1, because some people had momentary lapse of judgment and didn't put faith in how awesome the Mythoverse would have been.
Well, I won't blame them because you guys, it's a first time campaign, and people don't really think what I think that well of first timers because of how badly they were screwed before. But there is a time skip of about a couple hours.
Hey,
So-
it's one of those, it's I think you will get funded and everything. That's I truly believe. And my thing is, I think it'll be like Jack Iron. Y'all will get funded, and next time around, you'll take all the lessons you learned from the first time into the second and be well prepared.
No, yeah, and this will be simpler too because it'll be only about $3,000.
Right? Hey, Neostar went all in with the Mythoverse. That's
Oh yeah,
right.
he did.
Because you saw what some good old fashioned quality was.
Oh yeah.
So you got anything to add to this there, Sporkman?
Sorry, I just got back.
You just got back?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to grab some Tylenol. My hip is killing me. So.
Oh no, we got you. No, we get it. You just didn't think we were cool enough to hang out with. Can you believe this, Matt? Can you believe this? He was just like, you know what? Screw you guys.
Whatevers.
That's whatever. You do what you want. You roll with 5 gangs.
Whatevers.
Y'all heard about that, right? The She-Hulk writer controversy.
Oh,
about
yeah.
South Park. Oh, dude, come on! Can we all just take a moment and laugh at that stupidity? Like, no drama. She brought it on herself. How could you attack something that literally has been on television for 22 years now, and has, I guess you could say, become such a component of the American culture and really the world culture in so many ways.
Yeah, but I do agree with her to a degree. She has a right to her opinion, uncultured as it is. But South Park is very, just like the Simpsons. They were both created to push buttons.
That's very true. In the last couple seasons, except for the one with the trans issue episode and the China one, like they for a while there, last couple years, they're just now coming out swinging again. It's the best way to put it.
I think that's because really society last year really hit. I think part of the problem is society last year, 2019 was just a very weird year.
Oh yeah, well, dude, the last 3 years have been weird years.
Well, that too.
Let's just be honest. It's been. I'm really starting to wonder. Like, conspiracy theory time, people. Tinfoil hats on. All right, so I came across this weird article and video and everything talking about how in 2012 there's a possibility that our Earth was destroyed, or a Earth is the best way to put it. And what happened is the experiment at CERN with the finding of the Higgs boson destroyed our planet, but at the same time fused it. Like, that's why you have the Bernstein, the Kazam, Shazam. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all the very like alternate timeliney, visions and things. So all I gotta say is, I think that this is still the part of that fallout of that. Half of America went super woke prior to 2012, and half of America didn't. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not even gonna say half. I'm not even gonna say half. Some, but like, and we're dealing with people who have literally memories of an alternate timeline where shit was more fucked up. Maybe that's the issue. But that is tinfoil hat off. That was my conspiracy. Back to the Mythoverse and Mythics.
Well, I'm going to piggyback off of that just real quick before we go back. The thing is, it's kind of been ongoing the way I've seen it. It's been ongoing for the last 10 to 15 years. Just a slow creep. But I agree. Since 2012, somehow the floodgates kind of got turned on. And I really think, and this is just my opinion, I'm going to come from the more religious background. I just really think that, we kind of got, like, our whole world has just been saying, you know what? I'm turning on the flusher. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just going to let you guys want to go there. I'm letting you go.
Speaking of, real quick, and also to add on the religious bit, you'll like this. A buddy of mine said something yesterday that I completely loved. It was, if you don't read the Bible and feel like you're living in sin, you are obviously not reading the Bible correctly.
That's true.
I was like, holy shit, dude, that is some, like, hits blunt fucking...
Yep. That is 100% true. The other hot take I always love is when people say, the Old Testament doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything.
And then what's funny is this still is why, like, we could still tie this into Mythoverse because it deals with religion, the occult, like, all of that, but from a cryptozoology side.
Well, yeah, Adobe's a Christian herself.
Uh-huh. Like, so, booyah. Take that, America. Just when you think you're out, Alex Jones pulls you back in. Except this time it's Bob Jones.
Where does Althea kind of sit in that realm?
She's a Christian.
Okay.
Herself. Just because, and it's based on more of the British cunning folk, where among the reasons why they survived the witch hunts was because they converted to Christianity, and they actually used elements of Christianity in their spells.
Okay, so kind of the if you can't beat them, join them.
Exactly.
No, it makes perfect sense. And Matt probably did his research on this, because think about it. What was the practice of Christianity? Come in, conquer, convert, and absorb. Absorb enough of the local religion and practices into Christianity to make it to where they are compatible, burn down their religious building, and build a church right on top. It makes sense.
Not in the beginning, though. To keep in mind, you want to start from when Constantine took over.
Yes, this is Constantine's orders.
Yeah, before 300 AD. The church did not want to go into places, and their whole point was to be separate from these other nations, which is one of the big reasons why they were accused so much by the Romans of being just like how the Nazis accused the Jews of eating people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Romans did the same thing to early Christians because if you don't understand what the Last Supper rites and what it meant, it looks like it follows it's sacrificial and humans and stuff like that. Which is funny because if you know anything about the pagan religions at the same time, they kind of did the same thing, especially if you like Mithra.
We're not denying that, but my whole point is I was actually asking if he did it for certain. You took control of the conversation.
Sorry.
But no, is that where you got it from? Is the whole point. Like, did you get the idea from actual history and like the actual practice?
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, they weren't like witches in that they believed that magic was a religious experience. They believed magic was a tool to be used. So they used that magic to help their communities. And those communities would shield them from the witch trials and witch hunts.
Huh.
Yeah, because normally they would have been, especially near, the Church of the Dark Ages, they would have been hunted down, and they would have been, massacred, by not just, a lot of people think that, that was all Rome. Well, it wasn't all Rome. Protestants did the same thing too. Once they start getting a lot more power in the 1600s.
No, you also got to take into account though. Early Christianity was originally spread predominantly due to, and this is one where I can be like
women. By the way,
no, actually, Irish. When the Christianity was taken to Ireland, the Irish were so like, I guess you could say devout that they went around, and this is part of me. This hurts because you know how much of a history buff I am. They would destroy the local pagan sites and convert them into Christian sites, and that's it. It's kind of how I guess the best way to put it that they took the word of the Lord with them everywhere because at the time that was what was believed was expected of them as good Christians.
And that came from, honestly, that actually came from Romanism. Because here's the thing what a lot of people don't realize. In the Bible, God never says anything about, going into a place, conquer, and take over a site.
Well,
he matter of fact,
actually, yeah, and really nothing on that.
What's that?
That's most religions, though. But anyway, God,
we are. hey, this still gets with the whole thing. I mean,
yes, but we're trying to talk about mythics, and we're like, okay, we're doing our usual debating religious bits because we have a comic book that ties into it. That is not an excuse to take this into a theological conversation.
Now,
I like them too. Don't Matt probably likes them too when he doesn't have a bit of throat issues.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's all right, but we must reforge. Carry on back onto the path. So, is there going to be an official crossover between the books coming up in Mythics or any of the Mythoverse books?
Well, I have been working with Dan on a Mythics Adobe Kroger crossover, and that might be the basis for Mythics issue 2, volume 2.
Nice. I guess you could say if I remember right, the whole point of what y'all are trying to do is you're trying to create a overarching cohesive world, which, like I said in the review of y'all's books, like y'all, well done. You laid groundwork to where you can already see the overlapping world forming. All right. And I do personally, like, my personal opinion, I say Changeling is the one that's going to be dealing with why I could say it is basically that she's going to be very important to the overarching story. Something tells me about that. Like, not asking, don't want any spoilers, but I do think that is where y'all are building up to with what I see as some sort of big bad of y'all's, because I do think that is coming. Is that it? Am I getting kind of like on that that you have like a major entity that y'all are building up to?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No. I mean, we all have our own big bads, but with Adobe Kroger, it's tying into the novel that Dan wrote.
Ah,
Yep. So, what happens in Adobe Kroger? Kroger already has a future planned out.
ah, nice. Well, that's good. You know, I guess you can say it's always good to have a plot coursed out long term with your works. Like, take for instance, you know, I guess you can kind of say, you know, a bit of Nephilim's end news. That for those who follow that, I got a new page in the works. Hired somebody to do it. I have that long term already plotted out. You know what I want to do with it, things like that. I'm taking it. All of y'all, yourself included, has something similar.
Something like that.
It's one of those. I guess you could say the. Oh, speaking of Matt, so while we're doing this, since there's you know, to kind of make this a bit more, I can say, do a bit more with what we got, because I'm not trying to hurt your voice too much, because I know you're trying to take it easy on you.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of wish Chuck would interject more so I don't ramble on like a moron, but stares at Chuck's avatar and it's not moving.
Huh?
Exactly. See. You're no help today. You're supposed to be keeping me from making an ass of myself. You're fired.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
Fired.
Well,
Turn in your
Scott's
badge.
20 minutes late. Scott is 20 minutes late, so.
Yeah. Oh, he said he'd get here. It's just.
Oh, I know.
Like I said, it's one of those. Being trying to make the best of it, and you know, not destroy your throat. You don't deserve that, Matt. You didn't do nothing to nobody, not even YouTube. Don't do that to yourself.
Well, everyone's been adduced to YouTube, so why not?
Right. That's hilarious. But no, what I was about to say is you should send me in a message your Steam so I can send you a friend request and maybe we can team up on some greed. How does that sound, Chuck? Streaming some greed.
I'm kind of wanted to be working on some stuff here.
You, sir, are fired.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I just need to do some Sporkman stuff while we're talking.
I don't have the game either, so.
Sorry, sir.
You don't have what, Matt?
I don't have the game.
Oh no, I was gonna get it. It's 99. I was
Oh.
gonna get you a copy. That's why I was like, send me your Steam so I could get it to you, and then.
Well,
Like-
one other thing is that I'm also working on a story for a Wicked magazine.
Lame.
Word.
Lame. You guys are so
I don't
fired.
know.
Hey man, come on, man! Everybody's complaining about the comic not coming out. I want to do some work on the comic, and you're calling me lame.
It's like I specifically got that for everyone. because it's something I think I can stream while playing with y'all and being in StreamYard that it work. Or at least hopefully work. Oh, that's
But
funny.
good news, though. We got 2 more pages. Ginger just
Nice.
uploaded today. So,
Hey, I'll take it. And I think so shall the viewer.
so I can, if you guys want to, I can share real quick.
I will. I'll allow it.
You'll allow it.
You're not sharing any of that interdimensional crap that Hillary Clinton be pushing, are you? Listen, I run a good Christian show here. I don't have time for any of that alien crap.
So here is. Let's actually go. Give me 1 moment here, real quick. I want to do something a little bit different. I
don't know. I think I'm really starting to get into the Alex Jones to get the voice sound good.
Well, you might have a role in the Mythoverse with Bob Jones.
I'll do it. I'll gladly do it. Because you know what? The only way we're going to stop the reticuloids from taking over comics with their soy-filled, bull crap, the globalist black, crap that they be pushing in comics today, I'm just saying, it's not something I want. Now for a word from your sponsor. Hello, America. Are you sick of being down? Are you sick of reading crappy comics? Well, what you need to do is head over to Indiegogo so you can get the latest grayscale comic. Sorry, I couldn't resist. All right, are you ready for me to add you again?
Yeah, go ahead. All right.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm in, like I said, I've been trying to work on my voice, get better at doing characters, and just being a bit more believable in them. I think I'm starting to even get Alex Jones' mannerisms down. Anyone watch Alex Jones? Because I don't.
He's really kind of been like back behind stuff because of all the legal issues he's having. So, he's been kind of like Owen Troyer and some other people kind of take over. He's kind of in the background a lot lately. So, but yeah, here we go. Here are some new pages. Here's Sport doing some cooking for Natsumi.
Yeah, buddy. And there's him throwing the table like a douche. He's all like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you gotta take out that Robo Ninja.
Oh no. He threw it like a douche because, you know what, man? He could have just picked up the plate and he's been like, fuck you, plate, I'll punch you. I don't know. Now he's got to pick up his table. He's made a bigger mess than he needed to. I mean, come on, dude. Why are you being a douche to yourself? Why? Think about future you. Future you's got to clean.
So here, as you guys see here's some new, and we even have a nice good duel scene here between Natsumi and Reiko. And if you look at if you check on the wall, what is on the wall? Subtly in behind,
Japanese flag.
The Japanese flag.
Yep, I see that. Oh,
not too on the news, don't you think?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So,
hey, it's one of those. The progress is looking good. Well, but then again, you were having to get all of them. You know what I mean? Colored from scratch, things like that. It wasn't like conventions that you had colored for years.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, because we knew it was going to take a lot of money, we kind of held off on coloring Japan, because we knew. I mean, honestly, I mean, people don't realize, we got lucky. We got Ginger for the cost that we did because to color, I mean, we're doing 91 pages, basically 3 issues. And so we we got very, very lucky that, she was willing to do this for us, because really a colorist
is way more expensive.
Yeah. You're looking at about $40 to $50 a page on average. And that's an average. You can get some for less, of course. And there are others more. Like originally when we were going to get Rodrigo to do it, which I really would have loved Rodrigo because I think his colors are awesome. But cost wise, it just didn't happen. Hopefully down the road, when we get on the high seas or another comic, he might be willing to come on board if we raise enough money. But then, I really do love Ginger. Ginger has really, in my opinion, Ginger really fits Sporkman. Her colors makes it brighter. It is fun. You feel it coming out with her colors. So ultimately, I think while we didn't get Rodrigo, and it sucks, I think we hit the jackpot with Ginger. So that's just my opinion. I just think that she's really done an excellent job. Yeah, Rodriguez, he's still doing. I follow him on Twitter. He's just doing a lot of work with Momiji issue 2. So I know he's still pumping stuff out there. But he's kind of unfortunately, he's in a rough spot because he's in Mexico. So to do any printing or anything like that, he's kind of in a rock and a hard place. I wish we could have done something for him. I really wish when we did the first campaign, I really wanted to do a print run for him, and we could have shipped it out through, Indiegogo. But not Indiegogo, but Kablam. Now he is on there, Kablam. He's on their website, but still, a lot of people, people just rather go through a campaign now. They don't want to go to a comic. They don't. It's very hard for people to get people to go to a comic book website to buy comics.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, think about how many people have been burned by just bad comics, both of the mainstream and indie, getting a comic that, like, quite frankly, how to put this, and I'm not saying anyone like in our group or things like that, but I'm like, they get a comic thinking it's going to be one thing and they get a completely different. You know what I mean? How many people have been burned by that because you have I'm trying to remember Duder's name where they didn't even get it. Pace,
B. Claymore.
Yes, thank you.
Rob Liefeld.
Really? Liefeld failed?
Liefeld failed. Yep. Liefeld failed. Not only on top of that, there are people that his one, when he reran it, he did make it a second time, but people aren't getting their comics.
Wow.
Yep.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, and that's
I'm really disappointed because Liefeld has been really pushing back on a lot of the bullshit that the people, like the companies, have been doing. So to hear him do that, it's like, you know what, man? You're only doing that because you're a piece of shit, and I can prove it mathematically.
Well, he was a piece of shit when they were running Image during the early days. And funneling all the talent towards his independent studio.
Dude, like, my big issue with Rob Liefeld has always been he did have a bit of an inflated ego. Like, I remember when he left Image, he was like, one day I'll have my name on the back of an Image book again, or on an Image book again. But that day just is not today. Like, making a big deal about it. It's like, then why are you leaving? Is this
because they kicked him out?
Well, I know that, but it's like, if you cared so much, why did you put yourself in that position? You know what I mean? It's like, and it's like, I guess you can kind of say he's like Wade. He's kind of had a reputation for years for being a bit of an insufferable asshole. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I remember even back in the 90s, and when Wizard talked about Wade, they always kind of painted him as a bit of a douchebag. A bit of a piece of shit. He could
Well,
put it in
you
there.
know, so many of those guys, so many of the pros are like that. This is a big reason why, people want to say why the comic book industry is suffering, is because they have a lot of insufferable assholes. Excuse my French, in the industry that people don't want to be around. You have people that that constantly fail on their comics, can't get past maybe 5 issues, and they still get jobs.
Oh, dude.
I mean, or they'll, their comic will fail constantly. They'll maybe get, their comic will fail. They'll do like 5 or 6 comics within that year. Every single one of them will fail to even get to 10. You know,
And
um,
and what's funny is you make a valid point. Like, it is a literal issue of every time they, you know, don't get their way, they don't, or they, whatever I mean, they'll sit there and claim this, that, and the other, that was holding them back. But then when they do succeed, they never fucking, you know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, the thing is, like there is, there's a reason why it's called the Portland Mafia for a reason. There is and I know Matt, you and I have talked about this before too. Up in Portland, and I know Brett knows it, that there is a basic control. A lot of those guys up in Portland, they say who comes into these big companies. And they're the ones that guide a lot of the drama.
And what's funny is they're the ones that are slowly losing control. And so which explains, I guess you could say, the constant high pitched squeal we've been hearing from fucking Oregon. Did you hear about Greater Idaho? Please tell me you guys heard about Greater Idaho.
No.
No.
Okay. News time, folks. So, Greater Idaho is all the surrounding areas that is like Northern California, the rest of Oregon, away from Portland and whatnot, and parts of Washington, outside of like Seattle and whatnot, seceding from the states and becoming a part of Idaho, which would be renamed Greater Idaho.
Not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen, but like if they're trying, and it's like, you know what? I'm down. I'm so down. I want to see that, just because I've already been hearing for the past like 3-4 years the constant high pitched squeal from these assholes. Oh my God! Please let this happen. Please, I want to hear these Portland assholes, these far left ideologues who equate everything to, one thing or another in the hierarchy of privilege. I want to hear them constantly screech again for another, I guess you could say, however long it takes, because they lost that much land. Because think about it, it would hurt their electoral votes and everything. It would be the funniest thing on earth. They would be irreparable. They would lose so much political power if that happened.
I think it would. I think if they would allow, if Congress would allow, and I know the states would have to vote on it and stuff like that. I honestly think that we're in this weird thing, a weird time. And one of my colleagues at work, him and I, he does a lot. He listens to a lot of like Temple. He's conservative. But we were talking about, and he comes from a very multicultural family. I do believe his wife. I think she's African American, and I think he's adopted her children. And then he's had some children with her and stuff like that. But. So he was talking about he was talking about like where he sees the split happening, and I really think, my opinion, I think we're going to split into. I don't think we're going to split into extra states. I see us kind of splitting into kind of like 4 regions in the country. But a lot of people are moving. A lot of people are moving. The problem is, they're moving to the south.
Yeah, I know. I'm having to deal. Well, do you think I'm like constantly? I'm now being inundated by these retards. I'm just saying. When I found out my town has a DSA sect, I looked at my friend like he's smoking meth, and he was like, "No, dude, I'm dead serious." I was like, "Oh God, no! They've spread. Quick, grab the supplies. It's like a zombie outbreak. Get to the country before they can infect you."
Yeah, it is a weird time that we're really living in. I think, I think people are honestly, John's in the chat. Hey, John, John Dillard.
What's
Hey,
up,
John.
John?
I think we're seeing this shift culturally. I think we're moving back to the middle, in my opinion. Hold on, I'm not saying right. I'm saying middle. The pendulum swung too far. The country just does not like when it goes that far. And I think we're kind of seeing some normalization. Not saying it's going to be perfect because the goalposts have already moved.
Well, and no, like I've stated time and again, it is a rubber band.
Yeah.
Not a slider. It's not going to be shifting back. They're pushing hard and continuously pushing hard.
Yeah, exactly. They want it to pop. You know what I mean? They're hoping that it snaps.
Oh!
And so I don't.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You remember the last time when I tried to hook up the Xbox to stream and how it just would not work?
Yeah.
Sorry. It's working now. Now I'm just like.
Well, maybe because XSplit decides to work,
But that's the main thing for the time being, is so people can have something to look at once it finally decides to load.
I think what you're looking at, and this is just something I think culturally, because comics have a lot to do with this, why we swing so far. Comics is, even though they are a very minor niche in fandom, they still hold a lot of weight, culturally, and I look at that along with, and I don't know how you view this, Matt or Josh, how you view this yourself. I think the comics still play a way to, no matter what the politics in and people are screaming, I think the people are tired of seeing those politics, and it's now forcing the comic, because you already saw it. You look at some people with, who were, TDS, kind of say, you know what, I can't do this anymore because it's affecting my career.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So
I really do.
I think what you're going to see is, I really think you're going to see a lot of comic creators kind of doing the same thing. I see it already. Sean Gordon Murphy refuses to talk politics. Brian Edward Hill, he kind of limits what he does.
Well,
Jimmy Palomé.
But these were guys who did that from the get-go already, for the most part.
Right, but I think, though, they're having an impact on a lot of the mainstream creators, and a lot of these people are saying, you know what, we are losing customers. We gotta change. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not even that. It's not even that. What it is I think it's. They are doing. Think about it. They did this tactic before. Remember about? I think it was end of 2016, going into 2017. Maybe it might even be a little bit later than that. There was talk on the horizon of Marvel starting to pull, rein in, reel that shit in and things like that, and they were losing customers. We were hearing these talks then, so I will believe it when I see it.
I think what it is it's not going to be that the big two are going to change. I'm not saying the big two are going to change. I think what's going to happen is, I think you're going to see a lot of independent comic creators, and Blake Norcott kind of made this post the other night. I don't know if you saw this back, because I know you follow her, right?
Yeah.
I do, but I don't.
Okay,
You know,
she made a
see,
post about she made a big post about this when she was talking about her comic coming out. She said the relevance of the big two are going to basically go away. She's like, what other industry can you go right from the customer, from the creator right to the customer? Think about it. Can't really do that in the gaming industry. Okay, can't really do that in Hollywood because Hollywood, is still locking up a lot of the industry.
yes, yes, but that's things like YouTube, BitChute, things like that. They are taking back the, if you will, the I guess you could say control.
Mhm.
Because I don't even have I'm gonna just get that for PC. It'd be way more fun there. What's funny is right now I'm doing I'm not even have my TV to my Xbox. I just got everything going off of my the actual stream.
You had Halo Wars 2 there. I'm surprised they didn't throw that in the Master Chief collection, or did they?
They do, but no, it's one of those. I hardly play my Xbox, so I got rid
Okay.
of the Game Pass.
Well,
So
I was going to say, having the Game Pass, you can play the stuff on your PC now.
I know, I'm just, but I don't feel like
I know.
I will
Yeah,
get that. I will worry about that when I get a new computer and I'm forced to upgrade to Windows 10.
Yeah.
Until then, no.
We were talking about
What
that.
are you talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about that in the one Mythic chat, or not the one Wicked chat. That that
Wait a second. No,
they're trying to sell me on. Once more games come out that I want to play, I'll do the Switch. But now Sony's talking about doing it.
Oh shit. Okay, I'll have to scratch that. I didn't realize that.
What?
Oh, I forgot. I would have bought a Xbox Live card, but I didn't realize it.
Expired.
Yeah, I was like, well, shit. I'm not putting.
See, this is why I love PC. I'm starting to really love PC. The fact of I don't have to pay for a subscription fee to freaking play a game online.
Right? Ain't that the truth?
Well,
I'm just gonna hook something else up here in a minute.
well, Xbox Live did help kill the Elder Scrolls Online subscription fee.
I honestly, this is just my opinion.
Kill the what? Elder Scrolls Online?
The subscription for Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh yeah, because it was that, and that's true. Like I have it installed on my computer right now. Like actually, it's. But I'm like, I'll hook up another console. That's not a problem, dude. That's the whole point of having all this extra streaming stuff. It's just man, I wasn't about to sit there and fight with it. I really wasn't about to sit there and fight with it.
I think getting back to the topic at hand, I think what's one of the great things I think that we are doing here within Wicked, and I know Matt, you agree with me 100%.
Hold up, we got to do it right. We got to do it. Represent.
We are trying to create this new. We're trying to give what people want right directly to them. Forming pretty much besides Antarctic Press and Alterna, who else as the big companies, Image, DC, Marvel, who else really goes through none of the big three really go through unless it's like a trade being offered of an older title, like Postal, that's been done for a while, but they were they're doing a trade, Brian Bodello, Lady Death, that is all done Kickstarter,
Well, and it's not just that. It's not just that. It's the whole thing can be really summed up quite simply as comics are seeing a resurgence in the indie sphere, specifically brought on because of the failures of the big two, A big 4, really, because it would be 5, but Dark Horse has been doing well to stay out of a lot of these slap fights.
Well, and they also got good titles to keep people interested. I.e., Aliens, Terminator.
But it's not that the point still stands though. The major companies, because of their failure, has, like myself, I was sad that y'all heard me in the beginning how I literally wanted to save the big 2 because of how big of a DC guy I am, and even though I'm a big DC guy, I still got love for Marvel and this, that, and the other, and now I'm just like, fuck it, let them burn, kiss my ass.
I don't want them to burn. I don't want them to burn because I'm a huge DC and Marvel fan too. I am like my two favorite heroes are Namor and Superman. I don't want them to burn because I love these characters so much, and I like Wolverine, I like Spider-Man, I like the X-Men, I like Batman, I like Wonder Woman. I love these. I'm a huge comic geek. I love characters.
We all are, but at some point you have to just accept that. Like, only way we will be able to fix this situation is if we got control of the company.
No. I don't think we need to get control of the company. I don't think we need to get control of the company. What we need to do is we need to support the comics that are actually good. Go out and support, Sean Gordon Murphy.
We were doing that, and what did we get? We got, for pretty much, let's see, Brian Michael Bendis comes in and destroys Super Sons when that was DC's.
Well, he destroyed Superman too.
Yeah, like both were selling. Literally, DC was reaching the point where they could literally print money again for the first time in 20 years.
Yep.
Think about that.
Their whole
first time since the marriage of Superman and Lois Lane, before they started to do the gimmick stuff with Red versus Blue and everything, or Red and Blue Superman again and everything, and the whole build up to the Millennium where they changed his power set and everything. All of that, prior to that, DC could do no wrong. The 90s DC were like, DC and Marvel were both good, but DC was king comics because they did everything right. Their Joker was on point, their Batman was on point, because they took so much from Batman the Animated Series. All right. So for the first time, you have DC for the first time since then returning to form. Rebirth brought everybody back that was lost from the New 52. Like, they were on top.
Well, and then they introduced.
Then they got brought in Bendis and shat on everything and destroyed it.
Yeah.
And so the only way to fix any of these problems is you'd have to retcon literally from when these assholes took control of the company. For instance, DC did Bendis. From that point on, retcon all of it. And then do the same thing with Marvel from pretty much Civil War, Secret Empire on, retcon everything because of what those assholes did to Marvel. So that is literally the only way to save these companies. Thus why we would have to have control of the literal companies.
Or you put you get the right at least one person in the you get one person up in the upper echelon that actually bring people into the industry, like Sean Gordon Murphy, like Brian Edward Hill, Christopher Priest.
But the problem is, 20 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, that's exactly how we fix the problem. Because 20 years ago, we actually had faith in the fact that someone like that could get in. You got to remember how these guys got in is because they're nepotistic. They hire their friends.
Yeah.
No one's going to get into those positions of power. All right, that's the first thing I needed, because of the fact that they're not willing to play the nepotistic game. They're going to sit there and be like, I'm not going to, sell my soul to the devil for a little bit of fucking fleeting fame because of the fact that I decided to side with individuals who don't care about the fans. And that's literally it. These aren't you if you side with the fans, you're not going to go very far. But if you side with them and their shitty non-theistic religion, oh, you'll go far in the industry.
I mean, I can understand that. Where is my
And people who are used to meeting of the minds and everything, they're like, classic comic talk. We miss this because that's what we are. I should say we were known for. It's always good to be returned to true to form.
I guess I'm a little bit more hopeful. Because like the way I do what I do is I look at series. For instance, I still buy Rebirth. I still buy a lot of the early stuff. I support titles where, first off, a creator hasn't come in and just basically lambasted fans. But I will support. I will support where I will support. Marvel wise, I haven't bought really anything.
There it is.
Let me rephrase this. The only thing I'm buying on the Marvel side is I've been getting their Swordmaster, Arrow, and Agents of Atlas.
Hashtag Scrooge McDuck. I'm keeping me money.
Hey, and I'm not going to fault you for that. That's within your rights. But what I'm saying is, the only reason why I'm getting those series is because they're new a lot of new characters. Arrow is a whole new character. DC or Marvel created. She's Asian American or Chinese American. So whole new character. Wave, whole new character. They took some characters from Future Fight that were in there, and they put them on this team. So there were new characters, so I was trying to give them a chance. And so it's because of trying to support something that was a little bit different, new characters. You know what I mean? So it gave.
No, I get that. I'm just, I am not judging you, but I'm totally judging you.
Well, you can kiss my ass, bitch. But
oh my goodness! I'm going to tell the teacher, and I'm going to get you canceled because I can't take the fact that you called me a naughty word. Free.
But you know what? But in most cases, though, a lot of my reading has going into. I still read older series from Image, Deadly Class, Low, Descender. There are stuff out there that I will definitely. No, Arrow is a new character. She's a fully new character. She was. This is a different Arrow. This is Arrow. Here, let me.
Whoa! Lose my headset. I knocked over my technically my mom's knife sharpener, but it's all like, oh shit, headset sliding off now too. Oh god, no, you know what I mean? Trying to find the stuff to get the original Xbox hooked up because I'm feeling some of that old school.
Hold on here.
Of course.
Yeah, this Arrow is actually Li Ling. She's from Shanghai. So she was actually, like I said, she was Future Fight. She was created for the game originally and then brought into the comics. So
if I remember right, that's the mobile game, right?
Yes, Future Fight is the mobile game. This is
how is that? Like, I played the DC one that was, I think, similar to it.
I like the Marvel one actually better than the DC one. That is actually one game I think that that Netmarble is doing really good because there's just so much to do in it. But a lot of stuff is starting to get. The last year, a lot of stuff has been being hidden behind a paywall, and that's frustrating for me.
That's so. What you're saying is they got greedy.
Basically, but yeah. Ooh, I did not know this was a wallpaper.
Those greedy sons of bees. I shall take them down upon the altar of the battlefield and give them what for. Now, where is my Xbox controller?
But the thing is, I mean, you got to.
It's a stupid guy.
Yeah, you gotta. The real biggest way is you gotta with these, with a lot of the Asian games, and I know, Matt, I'm probably sure you're aware of it too. You got to fandangle your creds.
Yeah.
Because gotcha games, they can rip you.
So what you're saying is these games are run by Ferengi.
Pretty much.
Pretty much so. Yep.
Because we can't help but at least somehow slip a Star Trek reference into.
But yeah, they definitely.
Okay, what do I do with it? I'm literally like, where did I put my original Xbox controller? I know I have it around here somewhere. Feeling a bit sheepish here. Leave it to me to lose something that's... I'm not saying it's one of the big dukes. I mean, oh man, if it was a duke and I couldn't find it, what the hell is wrong with my vision? I know I'm not wearing my glasses, but I'm not that blind. That's part of the reason why I don't wear my glasses, so I have to see. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Force my eyes. Work, bitch!
Yeah, to answer Neo's question, yes, there is a winged human named Arrow, but in this particular case, Arrow is actually the one that was done for Marvel Future Fight, and that has her own comic. She's actually a mutant.
She's a mutant!
She's a mutant!
Uh-oh. Someone get the Martys.
But... the thing is, I felt that, for me, it was like, well, here's another, that's one of the big reasons why I liked, the new Superman and the Justice League. King Kong's character was a really cool character. Even though they took the Superman, the Wonder Woman, and the Batman, archetypes, but they actually created these characters that were really good, and I think they did that really good with, Arrow and Swordmaster, kind of, giving, doing representation correctly without being ham-fisted. You know what I mean?
And let's be honest, when was the last, what, I don't even remember what happened to the last Swordmaster, but they haven't used him in so long because he was pretty much a... let's be honest. Nobody likes Swordmaster. Cool idea, bad implementation. So,
well, I think the big reason being that they didn't use him is because, I mean, just the same thing they didn't use Shang-Chi for such a long time. They kind of just relegated a lot of these ancient characters to the backgrounds. Matt, would you agree that that's pretty much what they did? Because you had the Mandarin, Shang-Chi. Marvel has a lot. We'll say the original. The original Psylocke, because Psylocke was originally, I think she was Vietnamese.
No, she was originally British. She was
no. I'm not talking about Betsy. Psylocke was somebody else first before she got implanted with Betsy's mind.
Oh, I gotcha. Well, no, I think she was actually a hand assassin.
Right, but I don't know if she was. I think she was either Vietnamese. I'm talking about where she was from, but she was a.
Tell you, I just knew she was supposed to be Asian or something.
But and that's the thing is there's a lot of great characters that I think, especially that are Asian, that Colleen Wing. One of the most iconic characters coming out of God, my brain's freezing up there for a second. You know,
Oh, dude, I'm bad with names. You can't rely on me. I will sit there and be like, unless it's a name that I've said like 50
Iron Fist.
million. Billion times.
Yeah, out of Iron Fist, you know, and that's the thing is, you know, I think you know, for so long, a lot of these characters were relegated back in the background, that they could have done this for a long time if they wouldn't have been focusing on, hey, how many 60 million Avengers titles we could put out. No, you really want to do representation correct? And I'm sorry, I'm going to go into this weird tangent. You're going to do representation right. How would you do that? You do that. You give these characters that are lesser known characters. You put them out in a series. I don't need 60 million versions of X books. I don't need 10 X books. You know, I don't need.
Yeah, you do. You need all of the X books. Bigot.
You know, I don't need 5 or 6 you know, Avenger titles. You know what I mean? For me, I would like to see these other characters that are actually very underused in their universe. You know, and it's the same way with DC. But at least I think
I get what you're saying. Like, there's a long list of characters that were minority characters that, ever so quaintly, they tended to forget about when the company started going woke. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like the whole making Iceman gay. I don't remember the character's name, or his husband, because that was during the time where I didn't really read comics. But even I know X-Men had the first like gay wedding kiss on the cover, like, or if I remember, that was like 2005.
Yeah, in the New Mutants.
Yeah, it's like, come on. It's like, why? It's one of those, like, you make these arguments about more representation, but then you do a little digging, and it's like, oh, wait, we were already represented in but we didn't know about this. Why didn't we know about these characters? Because you didn't read the comics, dumbass.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's that simple. It's literally that simple. So, okay. Update on me trying to find my Xbox controller. You'll get a kick out of this. It was buried under books.
Of course.
Like, I think that literally, all right, so last couple days I've been working at trying to get chaos of the clutter of the books everywhere. Things like that. Like, I had a laundry hamper full of books and things on my bed, things like that. Finally got all of that, and I'm just like, okay, I need a bookshelf. Oh my god, there are books everywhere. I need another bookshelf. Oh god, this is. I can't take it anymore. The books are overflowing. They're everywhere.
So Neil brings up a really good point. He says they made Iceman gay, but they couldn't bring back North Star as the main character, which is 100% correct, because, you know, North Star was gay.
Yep.
You know, and he has been around since, you know, they brought out the original Alpha Flight back in the 1970s. So him and his sister Aurora. So there's no reason why you could not have done that. You know why? Well, first off, Alpha Flight doesn't sell as many comics as X-Men does. So they're going to look at it as number games. They don't care about representation. You know, all they care about is bottom dollar. X-Men is going to bring in a lot more money than what Alpha Flight's going to. You know,
but it doesn't matter. Like, and one of the things that I also bring up, it's like, you want representation. You want people to buy your comic and not bitch about, you know, how you're pushing an ideology and not actually doing any representation. It's simple. Create a new character. Don't make everything about them, you know, be purely their sexuality and, you know, what's between their legs or this, that, and the other. And guess what? Oh my god, when you don't make that gay black trans woman, you know, well, her character, nothing but the fact that she's a gay black trans woman, when you give her some depth and you don't constantly talk about the fact that she's a gay black trans woman, and yes, I'm doing this on purpose because this is exactly what they do. They have to constantly remind you that that character is a gay black trans woman, or else, you know, you're not understanding that that character is a gay black trans woman, you bigot. I think I've made my point.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
that's their biggest issue.
here's another point. Neo says they couldn't bring back Hawkling and Wiccan, a full gay superhero couple.
Nope.
And you know what? There are a lot of Marvel fans that like both Hawkling and Wiccan. And that Wiccan's also the son of Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet.
But once again, that's like I said, that requires you to have read a comic book.
It also requires Marvel to do some work.
Well, I mean, look how bad they messed up the whole. By the way, everything's being streamed. Just to let you know, things aren't switching between us. Everything's going to you directly, Bob. Just so you know.
Oh, I need to fix that. But I don't. Which one is that?
So, you know,
Well, try that.
you know, just remember, less than 2 weeks ago, this tells you how bad they are. 2 weeks ago, they credit Captain America to Stan Lee, who never invented Captain America.
Really? I did not know that. I haven't been reading comic books my whole life to not know that. Did you know that, Matt? Oh my god.
I certainly did not know that he got a start on Captain America, but did not create the character.
Yeah, he got it. Yeah, that was one of his first comments. He got a start when they relaunched him and stuff like that. But yeah, so Marvel can't even get that right. What do we expect to get for them to get other stuff right? It has to evolve. And you would think that you would look at your own wiki.
Dude,
Or records.
Or records, yeah. Well, they probably have an internal database. You would think they would have an internal database where people could look at and say, okay, well, what is the history? What are the most iconic issues of, the thing is, like, for instance, I will give credit where credit is due. I'm not a big fan of, what's his name is Stephen Strange. The actor, you guys know who I'm talking about.
Nope.
The actor who played Stephen Strange.
No, I'm not. I don't have
Cumberbatch.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I was thinking for some reason I came across. I was thinking Steven Universe. That's what I was thinking. Like that's what came across in my head.
What? So where credit is due is when he got the role for Stephen Strange, he went out and he got comics and he was reading them and he actually injected himself into the character.
And come to find out, he also had already studied a lot of that as well.
Yeah. Well, he was looking at, because he really wanted to do this role. So he was studying on this character, not just the character himself, but like a lot of the major storylines and stuff like that. So that is where you got to give credit. Credit is due. Same thing with Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill wanted to, he was always
dude. That dude was meant to play Superman, dude. Like,
or Geralt.
What's that?
Or Geralt.
Oh, dude. Well,
yeah.
I'm not a big Witcher fan, but I do admit he does look like he does make a good Geralt. Like he looks like him and everything.
He is a big Witcher fan.
Yeah, he's a huge Witcher fan. Dude,
that interview, Xbox or PlayStation, PC, that look of pure disgust. It's like, my boy.
And what's interesting? It's like, I think it's almost like a lost art because Sean Connery did it for League of the Extraordinary Gentlemen. He actually read the comics, even though it was a piece of crap movie. He still went and read the comics.
Oh yeah,
that's how professionals are.
What's that?
That's how professionals are.
Yeah, and that's what they should be doing. So you would think if actors can do it, you as a writer, you should be going in and you get a project. See, Matt, you're brought on board to do. You're brought on the right to write a Joker or not. No, let's say you're brought in to do Killer Croc story. Okay, you're gonna go and you're gonna read as much as you can of Killer Croc. His major arcs, like what major titles he was in. Was he in any spin-off, any crossovers? You're not just going to do a wiki search. You're going to go in and you're going to try to find out. You're going to use a wiki search. You're going to do this. You're going to try to incorporate everything together as much as you can. And that's how you as a writer should be looking at stuff. I guarantee you, Brian Hill, when he's doing his stuff, I guarantee when he's writing Titans for season 3 of Titans, he's going back and reading major story arcs of Titans.
I need to finish season 1, but I do admit what I've seen of season 1 of Titans hasn't been too bad. It's been pretty good.
The first 2 seasons are good. I think people are just are they the Titans that we know of? No, they're not. These are.
I do admit Dick's a bit edgelordy. I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
there's that humor, but at the same time, it's like he was really angry when he first split from Batman. So I mean,
yeah, but he did never. I'm sorry though, he did never say "fuck Batman." That was one of my big. That was one of my big issues I did have with it. But I was willing to let that go. I watched the rest of it. Season 2 when they did when they released the episodes with Connor Kent, I fell in love with Titans right then and there because they sold me on Connor Kent because he is hard to do as a character.
I'll bet Young Justice did him so perfectly.
Oh yeah, 100%. When you have the way Connor is written, I mean, when you can pull him off. And I think not just him. I think they did a great job with Anna Dupe. I wish they would have had her a little bit more Starfire, but you can only get what you get. But I thought it was good.
Though I do admit I did see a picture of her Starfire in a later episode with her hair straightened out and everything. Like all they got to do is make her skin orange, and she would look like Starfire. Like when they put that little extra work in to actually like straighten out her hair.
Well, I don't mind
like Starfire.
Actually, I don't mind that she's that she has her normal look. Would it be more comic accurate? Yeah, but I think Anna Dupe still is beautiful. They did a great job with her. I enjoyed it. I think what they did with her, because you can still sell her in the costume, in my opinion. It doesn't. They have. Cosplayers do a great job. So Hollywood could do her skin orange,
and it would look amazing.
Now, what you could do is have it where she maybe transforms versus, you know what I mean? Like when she's normally walking around with Titans and she can transform herself between the orange skin when she uses her powers, like her skin actually kind of converts and stuff like that. But then she looks normal. Yeah,
either way, they could do something to where we could get a on-screen her in costume with orange skin, her hair looking the way it does in the comics, and her looking bad fucking ass.
True. So Matt, question for you. So if you could, if you got pulled into Mythics got pulled into doing a movie, who would you cast as Althea?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Well, might be a bit little. Aside, my idea would be an independent actress, but if I had to go with a name, probably Daisy Ridley.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I don't know how good of an American accent she can do. I've never heard her do one, but
yeah, because she's British, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but you know what though? A lot of Brits do American accents better than we do American accents.
Dude, Henry Cavill's a good point.
Dead.
Henry Cavill's a valid point with that. I'm not even gonna.
Almost all the look at Gerard Butler. Look at look at a lot of the more well-known British actors. They're all like that.
Dude, the dude that played Quicksilver and Kick-Ass. He's British. Like, it was funny because I remember watching one of the behind-the-scenes interviews where the director, I can't remember his name. I'm not a big fan of his. But the guy that did Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, and all them.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie. He was like, I wanted this to be my big American film, right? And the Aaron, whatever his name is, comes walking in, American accent, does, a perfect read through for Kick-Ass. And Guy Ritchie asks him some where he's from, and he responds back, "Oh, I'm from Yorkshire, mate." Or something like that.
There's just something about British actors, when they, for some reason, white nail. Sometimes it does come through though in certain lines, but for most parts, they can actually do. I wonder how Robert Pattinson is going to do as Batman.
Dude, that costume! I can't tell you how legit it looks, but from what I saw, I'm a bit excited. I think, I think it's got potential. If they do this right, he can pull off a year one Batman.
Okay.
If I don't know how good his American accent is, so I'm going out on a limb, but looks alone, they don't fuck it up and they don't take it woke. This will be a badass movie.
Well, as long as they stick to Batman Year One, the comic, or close to it, I mean, my only issue is how many times do we need a Batman Year One? Got it.
Batman Begins kind of came out before they did the Year One run, if I remember correctly.
Nope. Year One was out before Batman Begins.
Yeah, but Batman Begins was based off of the Long Halloween, though. That's they did. They didn't. Well, they did have a couple elements of Batman Year One. I will give it that. But it was almost entirely the Long Halloween, if I remember correctly.
Batman Begins? No. Matter of fact, because they actually talk about they're going to do. All right, give me a second here. Yeah, because the original arc of Batman Year One was 1987.
Okay. I thought it was 2005, but that.
No, 1987 was the 4-issue arc, but then the movie that was the comic movie that was based off it was done in 2011.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, Batman Begins actually kind of pulls from a couple different mythos of Batman. But for me, it's like I want.
Oh, shit. I didn't even see Scott. I am so sorry, Scott.
I was wondering what's taking so long.
I'm playing Halo, bro.
like for me, and then hey Scott, by the way.
Hey Scott.
For me, I want to see other characters that haven't been done in Batman. We've got enough Jokers. Okay, I can't
argue that.
I want to see. I would like to see actually Batman fight Black Mask. Okay,
and not the shitty Ewan McGregor.
No, I want an actual Black Mask.
You want the hard talking New Yorker that's gonna sit there and be like, "Look here,
he's an Italian." Yeah, I want that guy. I want to see. I want to see a good Talia Ghul. Him fighting against the League of an actual League of Shadows movie, or leading
the path.
There's Calendar Man, Killer Croc.
Mothman, Condiment King.
Yeah, we have all.
You could make a joke with Condiment King, not have him actually be the villain, but have a joke with Condiment King, and people would laugh. The fans would laugh because he's such an obscure reference, but at the same time, they'd feel like especially if you did it right, they'd appreciate it because it's it shows that you took the time to read the comics and learn a bit of the mythos.
So,
you know what'd be cool is if they did some sort of movie adaptation of Nightfall and then just put everybody in it.
Oh, dude.
For me, can we? And this is just me. Can we guys agree? Can we get back to the one villain?
The one villain approach instead of the 50 million villains for every movie.
This next movie, there's Catwoman, Riddler, and Penguin. And Carmine Falcone. How about we make a Batman movie where he goes after the Falcone criminals?
Just starting out and getting his name out there and
Yeah,
whatnot.
exactly. What do you think, Scott?
You'd be kind of going into that year one, which Bob was talking about earlier. Would be like a good starting point was him just taking down organized crime, and then escalate it from there. But then again, you're kind of stepping into Batman Begins territory.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm talking like legit straight. It's him starting out. He's doing what he's the way, I guess the best way to put it, like he is doing everything for the first time. You're seeing his mistakes, like, and not the streamlined, like, okay, it's we're having him take down the Falcone real quick and then Ra's al Ghul. No, it's entirely him taking down the Falcone family and all his mistakes and things like that, and the lessons he had to learn just starting out.
Now you could have like Selena Kyle in there, like she's an early prostitute under the Falcones, because she wasn't a prostitute.
Then you're adding a human trafficking element.
Yeah,
I mean they can up the stakes and still keep it kind of like supervillain free because he's starting out, and then bring in the next movie. Like they could build up to the Joker and have the Joker be his like big villain. You know what I mean? The third arc villain. Like what I would do is I'd do Falcone. The second one would probably be like Penguin, legit Penguin. Third one would be Joker, and have the in between movies have villains pop up in them, like the crossover moments and whatnot, be Riddler and Two-Face to touch on them, and then we could have in the big major Justice League movie Poison Ivy be a part of it, like start bringing in Poison Ivy and the things like that, and
so I was gonna say there's another villain that I would love to see Batman, just him versus Poison Ivy.
Yep. I want to see what he said. I'd rather see her in Justice League just because the whole thing in Hush where Poison Ivy gets Superman under control.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Hey, Scott, I'm glad to see you were picking up what I was putting down.
Yeah, because the fact that she goes after Lois Lane.
Think about it, dude. Like it would make she'd make a good Justice League villain, especially team her up with the Injustice League. Because of the fact that her whole thing is manipulation and control. Like they could have the story entire be building up to Darkseid like they were already starting to do, all right, and have it be literally her pretty much be the control, Solomon Grundy be the strength, Gorilla Grodd is the brains, Lex Luthor is tech, and Deathstroke is tactics, and then throw in maybe a couple outlier characters to balance it out and whatnot.
Well, you could do what's his name? Who does the magic?
Abracadabra.
Yeah, either Abracadabra or do what's his name? Dr. Fate's villain. That boy. The boy.
I know who you're talking about, but yeah.
They could do him. And then what you could do at the end of that Justice League film, you could have where Poison Ivy meets Catwoman and Harley Quinn in Arkham, and then that's your spinoff for Gotham Sirens.
Yep, and it would be way better done than, especially if we were in control of it, than anything they could do with Birds of Prey.
And it should have been called Birds of Prey. It should have been called Gotham Sirens. It's what they originally wanted to do. I mean, I'm sorry.
And they should have taken it woke and tried to make it, female Deadpool. And there's a lot of things they did wrong with that one right there. buddy.
I really wish they would have done that, because seeing Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn in the same film, I would be there in a heartbeat, because I love all three of those.
Especially if you knew for a fact it wasn't going to be woke garbage. It's going to be legit, like, comic book flair. Like, everything that you've been wanting. Like, basically, like, 2008 through, like, right before Civil War Marvel.
If they adapted Gotham City Sirens, they just actually adapted the graphic novel to the movie. You know.
Oh yeah, no, but
So-
you get my point, though.
Yeah.
Rewinding your plan there, Chuck. The only thing I would change is I would add Killer Croc into the first movie as like a hired like goon.
True.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
Croc doesn't do hired goon stuff, though. That's
Yeah, he does.
No, sure he does.
Yeah, he does.
Or just
Oh.
meat. He'll work for meat.
Well, true, that he will do. that I'm not even going to argue that.
Yeah, you could easily have it where he's mutating, because he originally does start out. If you know anything about Killer Croc, he does start out as a gangster mob, and he just had the skin condition that where he slowly mutated and stuff like that. So you can easily have it where he, like, maybe right at the end of that movie, like, he kind of bursts out and he's now full Killer Croc.
Yeah, and then it kind of adds that little bit of extra kick on the villain side, so it's not just a bunch of mobsters the whole movie.
Yeah.
I guess I like, for me, I always liked the whole idea of having, if you're going to restart the whole thing over again, start from basics. Give them your standard. I guess you could say mafioso flair to go after first, because it's like it's the whole point of Batman is the fact that he is the man that can step to gods and win, but at the same time show his ascension to that point where he can step to gods and win every time, because he made mistakes and he learned from those mistakes. So when he had to deal with superpowered individuals, he was already like, I got you, fam. I got you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you could even tie that in with the Killer Croc to, get him to adapt on the fly and to expect the unexpected.
I guess so. Is this what I think it is?
But, and I just think right now, whoever is over at DC movie-wise, besides the Joker, and I think really that, and I didn't think it was like that the greatest film that everybody made it out to be. But
I'll agree with you wholeheartedly, but at the same time, it did say a lot that needed to be said.
It did. I thought it was a good film. I don't think it was like everybody made it out to be this great film.
It's the best way I've explained it to people. It is a slow movie, but hold on to your seat the minute it starts picking up, because I guarantee you, if you are not holding on tight, this movie will fucking take you for a ride.
You'll lose. Yeah, you'll lose. I think if you aren't paying attention, you'll miss a lot in that film, and I think they did that on purpose. I think besides that, I don't know who is directing stuff over at the Marvel or at the Warner Brothers Studios, because originally when they announced Harley Quinn doing a spinoff, I had heard one of the things right away. McGee was the one who was saying that, we're gonna be doing Birds of Prey, or not Birds of Prey, but Gotham City Sirens. I'm like, oh man, you're gonna really do that? Well, that's not what we got. We got Birds of Prey. That wasn't even Birds of Prey.
Bruh.
Sorry.
Bruh. Like you. Oh man, dude. That's not even. That is like straight up no lie.
It does amaze me that they dropped the ball. Yet we look at Marvel and they can do almost 20 years or 10 years, 11 years, and they can hit almost every single one of their films right off the bat. Now I will come back and say I enjoyed I loved Man of Steel. That was my favorite film. I think.
Dude, Man of Steel was so well done, but mainly because of one thing. It was Schneider tried his best to really show the duality of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, here is this literal god amongst men that can do pretty much all, I guess you could say, has no limits of power or strength or anything like that. And best way I can put it,
Well,
he showed how he could still be vulnerable and things like that. Oh, what the hell?
Well, not just that too. But you guys remember too. I mean, it was also about what happens when you're assigned to a single role in society and you can't break out of that. Like, what do you do?
Oh yeah, and
I think DC was doing good with that. BVS, could have been a lot better, but I think it was still decent.
Did you see the Ultimate Edition?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I think BVS, the director's cut was much better. Wonder Woman was fantastic. Justice League was a letdown. They should have had a cohesive mind. The problem was behind the scenes, and I know we've talked about this before. There was a major issues going on between Snyder and Chris Nolan.
Well, yeah, Schneider, if I remember right, it was also the fact that Warner Brothers wanted Nolan to be the one in Schneider's shoes, and Nolan turned it down, and so that was part of the the source of contention.
Well, yeah, and then DC they put Nolan in the same spot of like him as the kind of like the producer of the whole thing, and he really didn't want it. He wanted to move on, but I mean, and then once again, Aquaman, I consider that 30 that's 20,000 leagues under par. I
liked Aquaman personally. I thought it was a really good movie.
And then that's just me. And then we won't even get started with freaking Suicide Squad.
Depends.
What do you guys think?
The director's cut was pretty good, but once again, and that's why I say part of the problem is Warner Brothers. Let's be honest, that is part of the issue that they are having with their movies. They're not letting their directors do their job. They're constantly intervening, constantly saying, "Well, this is what we want, not what will sell." You know what I mean? It's the best way I can put it. They're getting in their own way, and they don't even realize it.
What do you, Matt and Scott? What do you think?
I mean, Aquaman was okay. My biggest beef with the Justice League is they took what they felt was the most popular Batman comic and then the most popular Superman comic and then just mashed them together.
You mean BVS? BVS, not Justice League.
Batman versus Superman. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Sorry. They did that and it didn't work, and that was the jumping off point for Justice League, which basically put the Frank Miller Batman in the Justice League, which is not the Batman that belongs in the Justice League.
Nope.
I can agree. I like that Batman, don't get me wrong. I love the Frank Miller Batman. I think Ben Affleck does an excellent job of portraying the Frank Miller Batman. I'd be lying if I said he didn't. But
that's the standalone Batman. You don't. Yeah, he does not play well with others.
No, he really does. Well, Batman proper doesn't play well with others. Let's be honest. But the Frank Miller Batman is especially not play well with others because he thinks everyone's sold out but him. He was forced out and he didn't want to, but he was like, well, I have nothing else I can do. And, he felt backed into a corner compared to the, if you will, Batman that they should have used, which I feel would be more like. I think let's be honest. I think they should have used the '90s Batman.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you mean the Michael Keaton version?
No, like the cartoon.
Yes, like the Batman the Animated Series was the forebearer for a lot of what became, I guess you could say, standard Batman lore, and that's one of the. And let's be honest, that's not a bad thing. I mean, let me
But
put it
who would you have put in that role, actor wise? Who as an actor would have fit well, or would you have Ben play that role?
No, he's too old. I would have had probably. I'm trying to think. I mean,
But let me ask you this while you're thinking, wasn't that essentially what Batman Begins was, and the Batman trilogy under Nolan really was really just the '90s version of Batman?
well, yes and no. I mean, to me, that is the best version of Batman, and I'm not even like I agree to an extent. But the thing is he didn't have any. He didn't. Nolan, because Nolan couldn't check his ego long enough to realize Batman's bigger than him, basically nerfed Batman's villains, if you ask me. So you don't. To me, that's not the proper '90s Batman.
I will say one of my big disappointments from the last one he did was the Venomless Bane.
Yes.
Yes,
But I
will
was
agree.
just so happy to get a decent Bane that I let it go.
Not me. Like I walked out of that theater so pissed.
That was
literally.
I think
walked out like,
for
oh.
me, yeah, because I didn't even see that in the theaters myself. I was so disappointed because that was not the League of Shadows.
No, that whole movie was just a serious letdown. Like they had so much possibility, and like funny thing is, my buddy tried buddy the one that I usually reference that we're not going to talk about now. He basically was like, well, Heath Ledger died, so the original plan had to be scrapped, and this that, and the other. Like that's no
Which is true.
excuse. It is true, but that's no excuse. He could have figured something out, and it'd still be just as awesome. He just had to take the time to realize, had he understood one thing, the whole reason why Batman is such a good character is the fact that Batman is the one mere mortal that can take down Superman almost every time because he's that well trained. He's that, you know what I mean? He's
But
everything you'd want from Batman.
the thing is, like for me though, you're not introducing. I mean, Nolan didn't even introduce that. For me, Batman should have been a detective in all three films.
That too. I'm not going to argue that.
If you're having your thing based on crime like the first movie was, and he's trying to solve these things against the Riddler, I still think, and I will say to me, The Dark Knight is probably one of the best superhero films of all time.
I'm not going to argue that.
I just feel that the third one was really let down. He should have never retired. He should have been more focused on trying to find a protege. If he wanted to retire, that should have been what the whole film should have been about.
He could have done so much with that, and it would have been like he could have done a Dick Grayson as a Robin in between the movies, and like have him be Nightwing in Rises, like have it to where everything that happened at the end of the Dark Knight pretty much was already resolved. It basically was one of those. It was believed that Dent was dead. Dent's not. They could have brought him back because of the fact that this is comic books. Let's be honest. Don't I have a fucking AK?
Yeah,
And
you have an AK-47.
I was like, well, my whole thing is I'm sitting here trying to do this with a pistol, and I'm like, fuck this shit. But and then have the villain in the third one be juiced up Bane, and oh man, they could have done a proper Nightfall and like have him have developed a rogues gallery over in the Gap and things like that, and they could still done by the third movie a aging Batman. You know what I mean? And they could have done it way better and had it where in between the 2 points, like how in between the first and second one they did that, where like they had things that were going on between the movies, and they showed that Batman had been working on cleaning up Gotham, things like that.
See, my bar was just lowered so low back in the 90s that, like, I will gladly sit down and watch the last Nolan movie over Batman and Robin any day of the week.
I would agree with that,
Yeah,
but you know what
there's
though?
not enough money on the earth.
I will say this 100%. I still think Chris O'Donnell was casted correctly as Robin.
Well, yeah, he did fine in Batman Forever, and you got that. It's just whatever Schumacher was envisioning for that other movie. It just
Well, in Forever, the interesting thing about Forever was, once again, it's something about where people have an issue with doing Batman's rogue gallery. That was not Two-Face, and that was not Riddler.
I agree. I think they should have, like, Riddler needs to be more straight-laced. Like, he needs to be...
He's not funny.
He's not. He's creepy.
Yeah, the Riddler is never meant to be a comedian. That is all the Joker. He is the, he is the detective part of Batman. He's the one that gives Batman these riddles. He's got to use his detective mind to solve them.
Well, I think at this point, like in the movies, they were starting to lean more towards the Adam West Batman.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that point.
And that's the kind of Riddler that you got. The kind of campy, goofy, like silly prop.
Oh, because they didn't want to go as far as, because remember, Batman Returns really kind of
went to a dark place.
Yeah, went to a dark place. They're like, well, let's do this. We can't have that, so we're just going to go in the completely opposite direction, and kind of they ruined it. And we will not talk about Arnold as Freeze. That was just. Once again, there's another villain I would love for them to do.
Oh yeah, but see, here's the thing. You know who was originally going to be cast as Freeze? I remember reading this in Wizard. They were in talks with Patrick Stewart to play Freeze.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yes, and
him or Jeremy Irons.
Oh yes. Yeah, but what happened is Arnold was in contract with WB. He had a 3-movie deal. All right, and he pulled contract for that to be his 3rd movie.
Yep.
That bit him in the butt.
And it's like, we could have had an awesome Mr. Freeze.
I
think you could still have an awesome Mr. Freeze, because
you know what though? That movie was so bad. I'm glad we didn't, because it would have just been wasted.
No, but what I'm saying, if we have it now, like I think now we could do it because Patrick Stewart is older, and the way they have Victor Freeze now is he's an older villain, so you could do it now.
Very true, and like they could always have him just be the disembodied head, and all Stewart would have to do literally is they do his head and everything, and use an actor in a mocap suit, so he's just doing the facial expressions and everything in his face, and they have it be in the proper, like, because I want the 90s, I guess you could say, glass dome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but make it plexiglass.
Yeah, because but have like an actor, basically someone else playing the doing the body work this way. They can have him be in the big clunky suit and be all strong and everything like he is, while still giving you that.
Well, he wasn't
Patrick-
strong. He wasn't that strong in the animated series. He was kind of weak in the animated series.
Well, if I remember,
It's all about
right,
the ice gun.
well,
Yeah.
but I thought his suit's supposed to enhance his strength.
No.
I think a little bit. I mean, not like to the point where
Arnold.
he can like lift a car, but
Yeah.
like, definitely
No.
that he could hit you and you'd feel it definitely.
Yeah.
Like, he was meant to have because of the fact that he had a. If I remember right, the suit actually had to move itself because of how heavy it was. Because he's literally walking around with a freezing unit, basically.
Right. Yeah.
But now they have, with suits they have now, they have cryo suits that are like very thin scuba suits and stuff like that. So you could easily make a futuristic. Because remember, you got to remember, Batman is kind of Art Deco, so it's kind of futuristic, but also kind of back into 50s at the same point, which is something they never ever get right, even in the movies.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is you mentioned that is the thing is though it's more the suits you're talking about. What they literally do is they're basically a cooler on the back with a fan that moves air through the suit. It's meant for exploring the underground crystal caves where the heat is like 200 degrees, if not higher.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could still do it, even if you made it kind of be a futuristic, where like maybe you kind of give it more of like a aerodynamic design and stuff like that, and you give like little, or do one step further. You could give it like you could still give it with the dome head. You can kind of give him like a scuba suit, but what you do is you put like these little cells into his arms. And that's what you know what I mean? You put the cryogenic stuff in the actual arms or something like that.
Doesn't it run off diamonds?
Yeah. But it's still, the diamond is the focus to create the actual
So you can
temperature.
have like some sort of like apparatus in his chest where he has to like position the diamond into it and then like close up.
Yeah. They did it with Iron Man. I mean, look how they made Iron Man look. So I think they could definitely do Freeze looking close. Like, you know what I mean? Give him the suit, but, you still do, like, he needs diamonds to keep it running at a certain temperature and stuff like that. They can easily, I think they could do it. I just think he's underutilized. There's a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like, there are so many, just like Superman. I want a proper Brainiac movie.
I want a proper Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter. Yes. Why aren't we getting the whole Alice in Wonderland thing? Because those are villains. There's Professor Pig.
No, you know who I want? I want a Scarface and ventriloquist.
Yes. Yeah. See,
they did such a great job with that in the animated series. Like, yeah, you got to bring that back.
I think there's so much. There's so much. I think, and this is why I come back to, like, I don't know what it is. If Marvel can tap into their tier 2 villains, why isn't DC going into the lesser known villains instead of always recycling the Joker back up?
Because of the fact that DC has executives constantly getting in the way, and instead of I'm going to go ahead and call it here, instead of the directors and everyone who are trying to make them, because they don't have a Kevin Feige, let's be honest, because they don't have a Kevin Feige that's going to sit there and tell for instance, with Marvel, because Kevin Feige had already shown success with the movies, Disney kind of just let him do his own thing. All right?
Okay, wait. I just had a brainwave. Since he just came back, Rick Moranis as the ventriloquist.
Yes!
Ooh. Dude, and he's, the ventriloquist was always on the older side, So he's got the look. He could pull it, and he's got the meek stature. Oh man, you know he's got the acting chops to make ventriloquist creepy too.
Hey,
Of course,
check to some of the stuff Neo was saying.
Let's see. Let's see. I agree with the Jim Carrey bit? I like that. Glad DC stopped killing off all their potential villains. But and of course the last one. I think I'm done chatting for now.
Because we weren't looking what he was saying. I'm sorry, Neo.
I'm just threw like fries in the oven because I was like, I'm hungry. So I'm half. I'm listening, but I was letting you two take the reins for a minute. You two fail.
Did we? As much as I like talking about Batman, have we talked about Mythoverse yet?
We did in the beginning, but we're also trying not to push.
I mean, if you want to talk more about it.
Go for it. Take the lead, Scott.
I'll be back.
Well, did we go over when what the big print news was that you guys released on Tuesday?
Yep.
Okay, I haven't heard that yet.
Basically, the fulfillment will begin at the beginning of March.
So that means Wicked should be getting their box of comics in the next week or so?
Possibly.
Possibly.
We don't know.
Crossing fingers here.
I'm excited for two reasons. One,
and hookers.
No.
And
one, I get my
Mythstar.
Mythoverse books, and then two, Wrath is getting printed right behind it.
Woohoo! Yes.
And then, oh, go ahead.
You first. I was just adding color commentary that hook up the 360.
Ah, I see. And then you said, sorry. Yeah. Let me start over.
I'm glad
did we go?
I still have the distracting effect.
You do have a distracting effect.
It's my Alex Jones aura.
I think what it was is I was mentally hooking up a 360 in my head.
That too.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and bow out. It is almost 11 o'clock here, so
heresy.
So, all right, guys, have a great night, man.
Yeah, have a good one.
Later, Spork. Fine then. We'll just be over here, be awesome by ourselves. God, we didn't want to, be awesome with Spork, man. So insulted.
I know it's tough without Chuck.
All right.
So, did you have any news on what's going on for Phase 2?
Well, we talked about the Mythics Issue 2 campaign starting late March. And there's going to be some interesting ideas I'll be executing for to help raise the profile of the campaign.
Now, are you guys doing the same thing as last time, or Mythoverse is going to do like all three titles in one Kickstarter?
No, that was a mistake. Because we weren't able to get all the funds straightened out, such as Changeling that needed more funds than Mythics, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
I
can see that because you guys just barely got what you asked for, if I recall right.
Yep, and doing it. Go on.
Yeah, so there wasn't a lot of wiggle room on who needed what.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and we have to pay for the printing, so.
Yeah.
But this time, doing single title campaign, it'll be a lot easier to handle the printing costs and all that.
So you guys gonna just back to back or all at once or okay?
Basically, it'll be
Mythics is going first.
Yeah.
Cool. And then go ahead.
And then Changeling.
And then Changeling and then Adobe Kroger?
Yep.
All right. Sounds cool. Sounds like I need to get my wallet ready.
Cha-ching.
And we're each shooting for going for 2 issues this year.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what I plan to do. We'll see if I can pull it off. But
Got it, Scott. You got this. Be your own hype man, Scott. Come on.
But I think that's, I mean, it was kind of a good thing that I think you guys launched together. You kind of had that strength to get the first step in together. But I think on going forward, it's probably a smarter idea. It's when you get that big, and I think this is something you guys figured out while you're doing it, it becomes very cumbersome.
Oh yeah. And the 3 of us went in together, so we weren't competing with one another as well.
Very true. Some kind of animal zombie. Sorry, I was reading the. Oh, bitch! What do y'all know about being Spider-Man? What y'all know about being Spider-Man?
Are there going to be any other additional titles this year, or are you still holding back on that?
Uncertain for now. Right now, the whole focus is on getting
the main 3.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Well, I look forward to those campaigns.
Oh yeah, we're definitely excited for the other titles that are going to be coming out in the next year or so.
Okay.
Because we've got other creators who want to tell their own stories in the Mythiverse, and they're already starting on their pages.
Very good. Yeah, no, there's like an alchemist, barkeep type character, if I recall.
Right now, that's on hiatus. We don't know what's going to happen with that series, but it's still gonna be on the table.
And then was the 4 Swordsmen of the Apocalypse part of that too?
Yeah, but unfortunately, Sauron has some issues they have to deal with. So we're going to. It's being late.
All right, but we still got plenty of stuff in the works.
Oh yeah.
Up to and including hookers.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, we got a lot of people who are also we haven't just even talked about yet doing Mythiverse tiles. Already doing Mythiverse tiles.
Very cool. I look forward to that. I won't press you for the info if it's not readily available yet.
It's totally available.
You gotta be on the Mythiverse.
You gotta have a price. You gotta have the right price.
Yeah, how much are you willing to spend?
Exactly. That understands. See. That there be good capitalism.
So what you're saying is for anyone that's listening that wants more on the Mythoverse is check out the Patreon.
Exactly.
There we go.
See. We gotta make sure to shill those Patreons because got to make sure these comics get made. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Neostar's concerned. I think it sounds like you're fighting a sore throat or a cold.
It's just the back end of a cold.
I think I might have had that same thing. It was nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, you all saw me last week. I was, I'm just saying. I'm not gonna act like I wasn't.
Well, I'm excited because, like you said, we should be getting our Mythoverse books out here, which hopefully should be available to everyone else soon.
No, definitely.
Dude,
and we can't wait.
More stuff for the Wicked Store.
Quit lying! There's not just more stuff for the Wicked Store. Don't you know you're supposed to be a bunch of con artists, Scott?
Yeah, the Wicked Store editions have extra content, so big reason why you should go check there too.
Oh, nice! So we get extra for buying extra copies from Wicked. Not a bad deal.
Exactly. Except
Very cool.
and I bought Mythics will not be on sale immediately as the others are because I'm making fixes to the dialogue. And once that's completed and all the digitals are out to the backers, I'll be going to the Wicked store.
Nice.
Woohoo!
Yeah, because then we'll have. I think the plan is besides mine, they're gonna get some Canada Bear in, and maybe some Star Rings because I know she's close to finishing that.
Yep.
And there might be like one or two others that are waiting to print too. So there should be a nice healthy.
Isn't Chargers on Wicked as well?
Yes, Chargers on Wicked. They just released the black and white digital.
Nice.
There is going to be some more crowdfunding, I believe, on Kickstarter.
And if I remember right, that's Troy doing the art
Yep.
on that.
Yep, Troy's doing the artwork. So there should be the color version should be shortly following here.
Oh, dude,
this year.
I missed. We all know that that's going to be a great read, just on art alone.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, Troy's work is exceptional in that book. I've seen it.
Oh, nice. Like that's and you know that's one thing I gotta give you, Wicked guys, dude, because you're all like you all do your best to help each other out. And, like the lessons learned, you try to help out the new guys with and everything.
Oh, definitely, and I think we all kind of follow Cody. Cody's kind of like the leader up front. Like he's usually doing the first steps. For example, like you've seen the model. What is it? 316. 316 Jack Irons. So if we get that going, you're gonna probably see like Sporkman and some other characters on there.
Which we all support that 150%.
Well, you saw that Dan actually got a Regina going.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that started today, and
if I remember right, there's also a Regina body pillow and a Dobie Kroger body pillow.
correct.
It's
By the way,
yes.
By the way, there's gonna be an NSFW Adobe Kroger pillow on the Patreon exclusive. So, guys, want to check that out?
Oh,
Nice.
so
Yes.
not safe for work edition.
Yep.
Okay.
A titty exposed Adobe Kroger. You degenerates want it. Give them their money. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Of course not.
Hey, but let's be honest. That's part of as bad as it sounds. We do live in an age where it's a guess you could say we know what you want and we're willing to give it to you.
Sex sells.
Exactly. I was trying not to go there and just blatantly say it. I was just trying to find a roundabout way to say it. But yeah, because sex sells. Sex so sells. That's why we have a big problem with thoughts. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Saying.
I mean, it's been proven that people will spend money on Gamer Girl bathwater, so.
Yeah.
I think she just was like, I want to see if this works.
And
it did.
And I'm just like, how is there? Do you not have self-respect, brother?
Really
Are you
not.
yet so weak that you require the bathing liquids of a harlot? Just saying. I'm just saying. Fucking what is it? Deus Vult intensifies, something like that. I'm just saying. Anyway, so with all this being said, within the wicked world of Wicked, let's check real quick. But last I saw, Jack Irons, for instance, was at like over 1,000.
Yeah, he hit 10% a little after midnight, it looked like. And he was, last I checked, he was 11%.
Yep,
Yep.
1,151 hours. That is awesome.
We can get
yes.
better though.
Oh yeah, but I think he'll reach his 10,000 goal because of the fact that he's issue 1 and 2 are consistent and good reads, and it makes it to where, you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Neostar presents a valid point. What proof do we have that it's even her bathwater?
This is true. There's just the photo. But I mean, there are people who literally sell stadium air from like big events. They will just put air in a bag and sell it on eBay for a couple of bucks.
That is retarded. Like
Yep.
It is, and
that
people
is
buy it.
full bore. Like I'm sorry. The expression is true, you know, separating a fool from his money, I guess.
Pretty much.
Sorry,
So
I'm trying not to sneeze again.
Is anyone else irritated with like how Indiegogo will say like when you search something and on the search screen it'll say Jack Irons is at 12% and then you go in and it's always 1% lower?
Right.
Yep.
Like, why does it do that?
It probably rounds up.
I guess.
I could not tell you. I do not know.
But I think when Jack Irons gets his goal, I think that'll be the first Wicked title that has broken
10,000.
Yeah, 10,000. Double digits.
Woo, double digits.
Yeah, I can see it.
No, I'm trying to remember how you use the camera.
I don't even know what Spider-Man game this is.
This is Amazing Spider-Man. The game to there it is. The game to the movie. Nice.
Yeah, if you haven't backed Jack Irons, you should go do that right now.
Do it now. Do
Right
it now. Hey, listen here, America. Show the world that you aren't buying those soy-filled Lilyman comics that they try to push at the big two. Do yourself a favor and head on over to Indiegogo and back Jack Irons quicker than you can buy my crappy male hormone enhancing products.
I want to see someone get one of the cowboy perks. That's the one that has the Model 316 figure that will be custom painted by Cody Fernandez.
Nice. I do remember mentioning the figure. I thought it was going to be modeled doing the painting. I did not realize he was going to be doing the painting himself.
Just on that perk, if you want one custom painted by Cody, that's how you get it. But I believe the plan is, if we can, to sell the blank figures through Wicked.
Gotcha. Like that's, see, it's one of those. There's so much going on with Wicked that it's. I can't even act like I keep up with it. You guys are just constant like I remember when Jack Irons first got funded in the early days of Wicked. all this is just stuff that Matt and Dave, I think is the other guy's name. No, it's Mike.
Michael.
Michael, and Matt. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I'm bad. I told you guys I'm bad with names. I don't talk to those guys often.
I think you should hold off on the tattoo until you get the names right.
Exactly.
I'm so not getting the tattoo. Sorry, guys, but that not because I don't think tattoos are awesome, but just because of the fact that I'm just like, I am not 21. I am not, not a young man anymore. I'm just like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need to be edgelordy anymore. I'm already an outcast. I don't need any extra help. But
Yeah.
either way, I remember when they were talking about this, and it was just a whole bunch of, man, I hope we can get to do this and things like that. Now it's, look at them. They are achieving greatness.
Well, that's the crazy thing is that was only like a little over a year ago.
Year and a half. Like, wait, no, Jack Irons. That was no, Jack Irons got funded. I think June, July. So about 2 years ago now.
Yeah, and then 2 I think was like November, December. It was right about the time when I first started talking to Wicked about signing on under them.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think they've gone far in a short amount of time, dude. They've made moves, and those moves paid off, player.
No, definitely.
Like they taken over this indie game. The only thing you can do is hold on tight and hope to God that they notice you. Because I guarantee in 20 years they're gonna be a new Antarctic Press.
I think what's really gonna show and really kind of put us on the map is if we get into Emerald City Con next year and the amount of books that we're going to be able to lay out on the table at that point.
It'll be definitely be like Alterna, man. Like because that's. But one thing I do have to admit about the Wicked guys, like, and I'm not saying Peter isn't hungry, but man, these guys are hungry. Like,
well, it's funny you bring him up is what would be a big game changer for us and several other indie companies is if Peter pulls off that alternative distribution.
oh yeah, and like that right there is I have to call it what it is. That is Peter Smetty, big dick energy showing Diamond that yes, we will fucking replace you. Don't think we won't. You have Monopoly only for so long, and you're using a loophole to maintain said Monopoly. Well, guess what? It ain't gonna be for long. Because
I'm just hoping that we get a lot of one, Wicked is able to sign on to it, and 2, that they get into a lot of stores.
Right.
Oh, definitely.
Be that. But like I said though, either way, I don't think that would slow down the Wicked guys at all. I'm not even gonna play. Like those guys strike me as just in the short time that they've been on the scene and the moves they made have shown me that they are actually playing the long game. Like they're not putting all their eggs in one basket, but they're definitely leveraging their assets in a very smart way to continuously allow growth and expansion without actually having to force anything. It's all happening very naturally and it's working out well.
And that's the other thing, since you talked about not putting all their eggs in one basket, they are being ahead with their own strategies to get our books into comic book stores, even if, the whole alternate thing doesn't pan out.
Exactly. And that's the point I'm making. I mean, it just, you can see long-term planning on their end. And I think it'll work out well for them if they just be smart, don't have any infighting, don't go don't fall victim to it. A lot of, I guess you could say, possible companies that could usurp the major ones always have happen. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Stay strong. Don't fall for the diva, the ego, or anything.
Sorry, I'm watching Spider-Man. Got
Dude,
distracted.
I don't blame you, dude. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm just running around grabbing comics and web swinging. This is like the most relaxing thing ever. Like, I need to. Oh, I still got time. Okay. I was like, I need to see what time it is because I put fries in the oven earlier. But I'm
Yeah,
good.
that
I'm
could
good.
be bad.
And like I said, this is Spider-Man, dude. I'm running around just web swinging across town and whatnot. Like, I had to get this just because it is so well done in the aspect of that. Like, okay, a good Spider-Man game has to have the web slinging down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it has to feel natural. Like that,
Definitely.
like Spider-Man 2, Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man 3, and this game all got that right. I think that was part of what made, like, to me, I was kind of disappointed with Shattered Dimensions and things like that because this is what I want from a Spider-Man game. This right here. I'll get
Well,
to the storyline eventually. Just
I
let me.
think that's what was missing from Batman games for so long,
Very true.
and none of them were like worth a damn until Arkham.
And they immediately went and listened to the fans because fans were like, man, too bad you couldn't have made this a bigger area that they were working with and things like that. And they're like, we got you. Out comes Arkham City.
The weird thing is that game was originally being developed as like a rhythm fighter game.
Oh wow.
Like if you actually look at the combat, you can still kind of see where they were tinkering with that because it is very much a timing thing when it comes to that combat system.
But they either way they still nailed the combat with Batman, like right in every one of the games. Well, okay, Origins, the one that WB made, it's kind of it's you can tell that the main thing that saves that game is they used a lot of the Arkham City code. And they did do some cool ideas. Like, I like the detective mode idea and things like how they had you actually solving uh, the crimes and things like that, and actually taking apart crime scenes and things. I thought that was cool.
Oh, the what got me so juiced about Arkham is the fear gas. They did so much with the fear gas and messing with the player. It was just like the part when they make you think the game broke was just genius because it's like, what's like every gamer's worst fear? Oh yeah, when the screen starts pixelating out and you think that your whole game crashed.
Oh, I know. Dude, no, what got me about that game, like the original Arkham Asylum, for instance, and it always drove me nuts was the taunt with all of them actually, the taunting you when you die. Oh God.
Oh
You want,
yeah.
you want to talk about like throws controller, just storms out of room mad? Yeah, that'll do it right there. It's like I will eat your fucking children. Don't act like y'all haven't been that mad at a video game.
I think I remember getting pretty pissed off at Bane.
Oh, dude. At least Bane, the Bane fight and the Solomon Grundy fight both felt like their perspective, like you're fighting those perspective villains and whatnot. Like, I give them credit, they did that well. I know I really should move on, do story stuff, things like that, but I'm enjoying web slinging and collecting comics, okay?
Oh, you know what? Neostar brings up a great point. The part where Killer Croc just straight up eats you alive, one shots you if you mess up that part.
Oh God, yes. That was some Bantapu. Brink.
Oh, and then Forrester Comics was talking about his issues 1 and 2 of Jack Irons that he got. Yeah, we have a great printer for Wicked, so we're never really worried about quality.
Oh, what's up, Forther? Yes, dude. Like, let's be honest, it's one of those, anything worth doing is worth doing right, and as much trouble as Cody was having with getting those books done right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I remember the saga of him just constantly having, like, every time he thought he was good to go, something new would go wrong. And it's not even his fault. That's the sad thing.
The printing process is I think the most, well, for me personally, has been the most frustrating because it's the part that I have very little control over.
Yep. Like, and that makes sense because once you get it done and you send it off, it's entirely up to the people who are doing the printing, and it could be something so silly that can screw up an entire book, if I remember right.
Well, like Matt had some issues with his, like there was some sort of bordering issue where like the pages were printing smaller than the actual page.
And he mentioned that, and it's but let's be honest, that's all part of the experience. You know what I mean? Like, you're making indie comics, gotta expect some indie comic trouble.
And that's the one thing too. Since you were talking about what Wicked's doing is when they start to see issues, they'll put together a meeting and they'll put all the information that we need together, and then distribute it. To try and nip those things before they're recurring problems.
I boobard. I goofed. I goofed bad. But no, you definitely. You guys should try to fund a digital commercial printer. You can find a nice used one for under 4,000.
That might be something further down the road, but for now, our printer's been going through some transitions, but
Well, but he does present a valid point, though. Having your own printer does have its advantages because from there, you're in control of everything in-house. And that's one of the biggest, if you ask me, like, things any publication company should be striving towards is to have their own printer. That's why they don't have to rely on a third party. They can do everything in-house and push it out.
yeah, it's at some point, but even Peter Samedi pointed out, like, he has to get so many comics out a week. It's like, even if he did have the equipment, it's like having a whole staff almost like working 40-hour weeks to produce that.
No, that's a valid point. I'm not saying it doesn't. I guess you could say it's perfect. I'm just saying to me it makes sense, just because of the fact that it costs. But at the same time, you present a valid point of having somebody else do it, but it's pros and cons, trade-offs, costs. Still, you're still paying for the work to be done because the company has to make money off of that, and you still got to have a big enough supply. So if you're going to be having that big enough supply, then you might as well have your own staff on hand doing it. But at the same time, you need the money have the money to spend to make the money. You know what I mean?
It gets very complicated.
It
I
does
think
quickly.
one of the things they are looking at doing, especially if they're going to do more of those figures, is a 3D printer.
That is true. That is very true. Checking my fries real quick. They still have some time. The smell is killing me, though. I'm just kind of like, oh. Well, you coming, big guy? My cat's all looking at me like, oh, about time. God. You've left me out here for a whole 20 minutes to an hour? Because I'm not sure when was the last time I went out there. Because he was in here on the bed until I started throwing stuff for the consoles on my bed, so because I'm trying to find my controller and this, that, and the other. You get the idea. But, oh man. I think, though, it is a good idea to go ahead and start calling it here. What do you guys think?
I like the idea.
Yeah.
Alright, so, Matt, since you're the guest and because, you got the whole voice thing, we'll let you tell people where to find you to the best of your ability.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at MattTrain. And I'll put in the chat.
Alright. Scott, where can they find you?
You can follow me on Twitter. I'll put my thing in there as well. It's at Kish Kuman. And if you want to follow any Wrath-related news or any Wicked-related news, I'm usually posting all that stuff.
Alrighty. And as always, you folks can find me on Twitter at Brainiac420, and you can find me on Minds Gab, TikTok, and Instagram at Bob Jones Comic Wars. And as always, like, subscribe, ring the bell, share, try to get more people watching Meeting the Mind, so we can get more of these books in the hands of readers. Alrighty, and with that, I will bid you folks later.
Later.
Night.
There it is, and broadcast.